Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Resco, looked like you had something you were wanting to say. I want to give you an opportunity.
I just want to add that completing that Title III process, having a court affirm a plan of adjustment, which is in essence a business plan going forward, gives the private sector, also the new private sector, new investment, some sense of stability and certainty as they make new investments into the electricity sector.
Thank you. As I look at all of this, it kind of comes down to two key issues that are important to all of us. And one is, first of all, to make sure our fellow Americans in Puerto Rico are receiving the emergency care that they need at such a time like this. And secondly, to make sure that we are good stewards of the federal resources that are going there. And that kind of provides the umbrella for everything within this discussion. And I guess within that context, Mr. Resco, let me ask you this, and thank you, each of you, for being here today. I know the tasks that are currently facing Puerto Rico, and by extension you, and the board and those around you at this time, are drastically different than they were before the hurricane. And of course, when Congress put forth PROMESA, there was no way we could foresee a hurricane like this either. So with all of that, should this committee right now be comfortable with PROMESA, with the board membership, with you, the associate advisors, all of that put together, those that have been hired in light of the new task that you are dealing with now?
I think we are blessed, in fact, with the quality of the board that was appointed, the expertise on the board that varies from dealing with other municipal restructurings to dealing with running municipalities, running municipal governments, dealing with complex situations and very, very difficult disasters. So I think both the staff and the board have the group of characteristics, experience, and dedication that you would need and is required for the situation. I think in terms of our hiring, we have had to hire additional staff, for example, in order to meet the contracting policy needs. We don't want to get in the way of government doing its business. We want to do it in a quick and efficient fashion. So we've had to add expertise in the areas where contracts are going to be written. But I think we're capable of doing that, and we are on top of it.
All right, so you would say from a transparency perspective to this committee that we should feel comfortable with where things stand right now in terms of leadership?
I believe so, yes, sir.
Okay. Based on a committee hearing we had here in March, a significant complaint that came forward of the creditors was a failure of the board to meet with them and understand the technical challenges of PREPA. It's my understanding that the creditors actually offered PREPA a 5-year debt holiday, debt forgiveness, and these types of things, but the board chose rather to go with bankruptcy. Considering the hurricane and where we stand now, do you still think that was the best decision?
I think that the RSA that you're describing in terms of what was negotiated between the Commonwealth and the creditors was one where reasonable people could differ. I think today the board and all of us should be very happy that we didn't enter into that agreement, because given the situation, the cost of that agreement as written would have been an unbearable burden for the those who use electricity. I think that we had established, to your first point, a new dialogue with those creditors post that RSA decision and the decision to take PREPA into Title III, and I think we were on the way to finding something that would both serve Puerto Rico and answer their concerns that they rightfully have. I think we continue to have that dialogue and will continue to have it, both in the mediation format. We have a mediation, 5 federal mediators that work with us, as well as directly.
So you stand by that decision and still feel like it was the right decision to make?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell me something about Mr. Amato Silva at this point? I have not been much able to find much information on him. He's a debt restructuring director. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. A little bit of his background. Who is he?
He is a Puerto Rican financial expert. He has worked for Citi as well as for a few other investment banks. He has both municipal banking and private banking experience. He is working as my deputy in this area because we have, as you noted, an enormous amount of work.
Can you share with this committee how much he's being paid?
I can't. I don't, off the top of my head, can't tell you, but I will give it to you in writing, sir.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. It's very